I'm a member of the NSA, so won't blame you for not believing me when I say there weren't any secret government organizations studying the paranormal. I'm not saying the government doesn't spy on you because, well, that's my job. I watch people, flag weirdos that might snap, and send agents to take them down. Sometimes we take out politicians that are too corrupt, other times they're not corrupt enough. Either way, if there were a shadow organization like Area 51, we'd know about it. Government organizations are, after all, organizations. They need manpower, money, resources, and lots of things that leave obvious paper trails. Now that you know the extent of the NSA, let me tell you why I wrote this. It all started when we were investigating Michael. Michael was a U.S. Army sapper, which was pretty much an engineer working for the Army. Michael was a patriotic sort of guy that would die for his country, and joined the Army to protect the American way. He wasn't the toughest or the biggest guy around, but he was intelligent. Intelligent to the point that he was one of the people we filed down as hazardous to the public safety, and watched him for years. Michael was what you described as insane and suffering from paranoid delusions. He could see connections to things that weren't there. For example, if you asked Michael, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" he'd answer, "Because the government fed it fluoride so the American people could eat it in order to mind control them for their..." You get my point. The fact that he was a talented demolitions expert and knew how to build every IED known to man meant that he was quite literally a ticking time bomb. Of course, this is a democracy. Can't just arrest a guy for being crazy. Gotta collect evidence. So we did. After Michael finished his stint in the Army, he got a job as a construction worker out in Washington. He lived a simple life. Bought some drilling equipment, steel, and drank with his friends who worked in the farm and in the oil industry. During his free time, he'd search up random locations and write down something in his little notebook, constantly muttering about the greater good and how America can be purged of the evil. After a while, he wrote down on his calendar, White House, 10 a.m. on May 15th. We thought we caught his plot. He was attacking the White House to take out as many politicians as possible that day. Just another crazy loon who wants anarchy. Just another day in the office, right? We have special forces at the White House and sent some agents to trail him and prepared to take him down before he got to the White House. The morning of the attack, he got into his van and drove out. Instead of going to the White House, he drove to a small burger joint in the outskirts of town where his old buddies from the Army were waiting in the parking lot. He greeted them as warmly as they did to him. By this time, everyone was shitting themselves and watching them from the diner's shitty cameras. Realizing the extent of our mistake, we watched Michael lead his buddies to the van and hand them several homemade rifles, then showed them the bomb he'd made out of fertilizer and diesel fuel. Some of us looked away to weep when they open-fired on patrons. Others just punched the wall in frustration as they let a bunch of innocent people die over the law. Somebody had a mental breakdown when they saw a boy as young as 8 reduced to a lump of battered meat and bone. It was only when the gunned-down families got back up and started growing extra appendages that we started screaming. I won't go into what happened after that, not because it's classified, or that it's too horrible for me to describe. It's because I don't know what happened, or what those people were formed into. The camera feed died out before they finished. The only thing I can say is that 32 agents died that day. The diner was gone and its patrons were never found. We found Michael half a mile away with severe acid burns, one eye missing, and half his gray matter leaking out of his skull. He survived to the ripe age of 93 in spite of his injuries. Not because he was inhuman, he was just tough. Of course, he doesn't remember what happened that day either. While in the hospital, he told us in great lengths on how he predicted these people weren't people, that the White House was going to be attacked on that day, and how he was protecting the nation. He told us how he was intentionally suspicious to make sure we were watching him, and explained in length on how he deduced the entire conspiracy. It was at that very moment that we were gripped with fear. There was never an attack on the White House, and all the clues leading to this attack were things the U.S. government itself had caused. With that in mind, we had everyone that had a part of these plots interrogated, dissected, and tested on. They cried, begged, pleaded, did everything they could to get us to believe that they were humans. we didn't. We butchered them, studied them, and tried to determine how they so successfully infiltrated our government. After years of research, we learned 3 things that led to most of my colleagues committing suicide. 1. The government wasn't compromised. 2. All the people we butchered were human. 3. Michael was just an insane paranoid that found connections that didn't exist. You'd think we'd be relieved that our government wasn't against us, but we were mortified. No, we didn't feel guilty for the murders. The people we butchered were scum that had killed thousands of innocents and only got what they deserved. We were horrified because we had nothing to work with now. If we were compromised, we could capture one of those things from interrogations and learn from it. We could have Michael sniffing around for more clues leading to them. We were the US government. We were masters of hunting down people and torturing them for info. If they'd infiltrated us, we'd smoke them out and have a lead to follow. Now we know there's an entity that we know nothing about within our population. We have no idea what it is. We have no goddamn clue what it's capable of. We don't even know what it wants. The only thing we know that it's out there. There were no secret government organizations studying the paranormal. Now there are. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe. We post new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.